right, so we're just above the house at 147 Skellie. And for 3 acres, the property actually has kind of a lot of cool things happening. Now the house is just below us. Wouldn't take much more than an afternoon of work to open up a really nice trail back here though. Check out where we are. We are just about to enter into this really cool stand of red pine here. This stand of planted pines on this east-facing hillside. And there's definitely an elevation gain from the house, but then there's a little shelf here. And I swear, would take a little work, but my goodness, you could have an amazing little like upland tent site, hangout site. Downhill is south facing, so you could have awesome solar exposure up here. But I swear, if you did a little bit of clearing out, you'd have a really nice upland view of that distant kind of hill vista. And I'm not quite on the western edge, so all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the perimeter line here on the west side. I'll go uphill to the top. It doesn't go to the very top of this hill. It does end up in a neighboring open field, but we go close to that lip, and then I'll just circle back down and I'll come back down the hill. So this upper section is amazing. The lawn around the house is super nice, but if you can see this like thick, I don't know the species, but it's this low, super thick brush that exists, and it would take a little cleaning out, but other than that, you could have an amazing spot back here. Now, I'm approaching the very top of the property, and I mean, it's definitely a slope for sure, but I still think I'm pretty smitten by these trees. And some people say like, Rich, why do you do that? Why do you walk every foot of every property? Part of it is, frankly, I do like the adventure, but I want to know. I want to know for the seller. I want to know for you, potential buyer. I want agents to know. I want everyone to know. I want people to know stuff. So now what we know is that there's a findable, knowable survey pin in the upland section of this lot. So we're just before it levels off. That's obviously off our property, but now we would cut northward along this trajectory, and I actually think I literally see the ribbon on the far side from here. This is really nice back here. Piece of surveyor's ribbon here, still on the back line. I'm not at the edge yet. I'm more like middle of the lot actually, in terms of width. But yeah, so you have all this niceness up here. This side is a lot less steep. It is a lot less steep down here. You get less of the actual woods, but the ascent up the hill is a lot less steep. So I would probably make a path up from the shed side of the property and wiggle my way up the hill here. So you can almost imagine where a path could come from right down here. You would enter in by these cluster of 3 pines here, and then you'd enter into, don't honestly know, but they are nice ones. And you can see, just as I'm coming into this little bottom of the hill, you can definitely get a seasonal distant view there. The problem is now it's all this stuff. You want to see if I can film this adventure? But that, folks, is why I do it, so that A, like I know, B, I can show it, and C, you don't necessarily have to do it because someone's done it already, and you can watch this and know it. Well, you know what? This isn't so bad. This is definitely the way to go. This side is the way to go for sure. That wouldn't be bad to make a path at all. We're into this little middle ground shelf now. Yeah, this is that cool flat area I saw before that I said would be neat. And now we're on it. I would put a little campsite right here. Check this out right here. Going back up for a second. Right here, guys, is a nice flat spot at the base of this hill. Clear this out. You could have a picnic area like you couldn't imagine. All right, I've monkeyed around here quite a bit. By the way, I'm in these little saplings behind the house. That is super cute. I think what I would do if I was gonna go up the hill, I would start from the side of the house that has the well and the little shed. I would start my path right in through here. I would clean out some stuff. I'd probably skirt right around the telephone pole, and then you see that taller pine right there? I would cut on the inside of that, and then you can cut pretty much right up into the hill. And then the land on this side of the property is a little less steep into the woods, but then you could have a cool trail up into the really beautiful tall pines up there. Fascinating. That's a really steep little kicker. What a cool geological feature. That must be an amazing drumlin. All right, so that was our recon of 147 Skellie Road. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in this one, please let me know, and like, subscribe, and follow for more adventures like this. All right, take care. Bye.